Welcome to our first video of our official house tour. We're gonna go room by room, so let's do this.
Welcome to our new house.
Yeah, we're gonna start with the exterior of the house. And then we'll just break it down, like Aubrie said, room by room and go into detail of all the different rooms and why we made the choices that we made. But starting with the exterior / why we decided to build above the cookie kitchen. So originally when Aubrie and I moved back to Panama City, we were staying with my parents because we were about to do our camper road trip. And at the same time, we were also kind of looking around at like what houses were available. And there were tons. It was a lot of houses. We actually checked out a couple of houses before we went on our road trip. And then in the middle of our road trip, Hurricane Michael hit. And all of the houses pretty much were gone.
And if there were any left by the time we got back, they were astronomically priced for rent.
Like for example, a house that was renting for $1,800 a month before Hurricane Michael was now renting for $5,000 a month. People had campers in their front yards and then were living in their campers and trying to fix their homes. Hotels were completely booked with people that were down here to help with the storm. Contractors had their employees in them, and then people that were displaced from the hurricane. So we got back and there was literally nothing available.
So we ended up living with his parents. We lived there for about 9 months. We basically like slept and worked in your old like high school bedroom, which was like a 10 by 10 room. And then thankfully we did have like...
We technically lived there for a year.
Yeah.
I guess 9 months from after we got back on the road trip.
Oh yeah, okay.
So 9 months after the road trip.
Towards the end of that is when we were like buying the land and looking at like what the layout of the cookie building was going to be. And then at that same time we were like, all right, we need to like obviously move out. Like we wanted to move out. It was just like, all right, it's been enough time. We started looking at houses.
The houses started to come back on the market and they were expensive.
So yeah, we looked at houses out on the beach with pools and like some of them were really cool, some of them were not in good locations, and we just couldn't find anything that we liked. So I think, one day Brad was just like, what if we built above, like on the second floor of the cookie building? I don't even know how you phrased it.
Yeah, I just said, what if we built our house above the cookie kitchen, like on the second floor? And I got the idea because when I went to UF in Gainesville, a lot of apartment complexes were building these apartment complexes above like a lower levels of shops that they would like rent out. So like the lower level would be like a restaurant or would be like store frontage, and then above it was apartments. And I was like, man, that's a really neat idea.
I think originally I was kind of like, I don't know what that would be like. Like, I have no idea. Like, so he had to kind of describe what he was thinking.
It's probably a lot of the same stuff that people like you right now are thinking, like inside of a metal building, like how's that gonna look? Like, is it gonna feel like a home? Like, is it gonna have windows? Is it like all these questions that we get asked because a lot of people have never seen it and they can't picture it. But I like promised Aubrie it would look like a real home.
I think what like sold it for me was like he said like comparatively the price compared to like buying a home and like how close you are to your work and everything, like that's what I think sold it for me.
Yeah, I mean, truthfully, if you took this home out of this building and put it onto a lot somewhere, you're adding another $150,000 to the price of your home.
It did end up costing more than originally what we had planned, but
that's because lumber prices went up astronomically.
In the end, it's still less expensive than a home that we could buy.
Yeah. Yeah. All in all, we built this house and an apartment for cheaper than the house that we were renting in Sweet Bay. We bought the land in March of 2019. And we started the whole process of like architecting, engineering, all that stuff. So that lets you know how long that took. And then May of 2020, we cleared the land. June of 2020, the slab was poured. January of 2021, Fat and Weird was able to move into the bottom. And then June of 2021, we moved in up here and it was not done. And I would argue that it's still not done right now. We still have some like certain hardware to put on our cabinets. There's some more paint touch up that needs to be done. If you follow us on Instagram, you saw that during the tropical storm that came through a couple of days ago, we had like water leaking in to some areas. So that's obvious that things weren't done. In general, I would say that the house is like 98% complete now. Our oven got fixed. You know, everything's working.
Now it's just like interior decorating, you know.
And small little cosmetic stuff that needs to get fixed that's not done correctly or 100%. They were working in here in November, like for upstairs. So it definitely wasn't 7 months. It was probably closer to like 10 to 11 months. I designed everything. I know that's a common question we get asked. I had an architect, but I literally like drew out what I wanted, and he like made the room sizes make sense because I just drew it on paper. Like I was like, I don't know how big this bathroom needs to be, so he like architecturally made all the rooms be how they should be, but I designed the flow of everything.
And then when we hired Kelly, which is the interior designer that helped us,
she made some
like
changes.
Improved it even more, just like flow wise or size wise, or you know,
do
you want single closet versus double closet?
No, but she didn't change flow. The house layout is
Right,
the
not
exact
flow.
same. She changed, like she made some closets a little bit bigger and rooms smaller, or she made bathrooms a little bigger and stuff like that. So she kind of like adjusted those things, but the flow stayed the same. And I will say, you know, there are things I would change, you know, and maybe we'll do a video at the end talking about those because it won't make sense to you until you've seen our whole house. But there are things that I would change, but I'm not unhappy with anything, but there are definitely things I would change. Yeah, so originally living here, we were, we have our, you know, normal stairs that like an apartment has to get up here. And then we were gonna have a second entrance for us, a spiral staircase. But during the project is when I found out that Aubrie was pregnant. So I've tried to figure out how to get an elevator in here instead of a spiral staircase. I just thought with the baby
stroller, groceries,
Yeah.
like I would have been fine, but I'm like, he was like, what if we did an elevator? And I'm like, I think that sounds a lot better.
Not to mention, like Miley's back has been an issue with a dog. So if you don't know that much about us, we have a pit bull, and she kind of has like a tweak in her lower back area. So she sometimes like has difficulties with stairs.
Yeah.
So especially a spiral staircase. So I found out you had to do a lot of hoops to jump through, but I was able to get an elevator in here. You know, a spiral staircase was going to cost us like $8,000 to $9,000, and the elevator cost $20,000. Yeah, so the other thing is that just people always ask about natural light. You know, we have 2 windows in the kitchen. We have a huge window in the living room. Our front door has like glass inserts. Every bedroom has 2 windows except for ours, which has just a really huge window in it.
They are very deep, so like you have your metal wall and then you have framing. And then obviously you have sheetrock, so that's like at least a foot. So most places it's about a foot ledge to the window, but then like in our bedroom, I think it's even more than that. So it almost like, it feels like a bench almost. But one thing that we did think about on the exterior, because obviously you don't care too much about exterior, but we did kind of place the windows and doors so that they would all be on the same level. And really it was just like placement. It was all about, you know, where our where our couch was, where our cabinets were. In our bedroom, in the master bedroom, we chose one big window. For safety reasons, you have to have a certain size of window in a bedroom to escape. And in our bedroom, there were beams everywhere. So like placing a skinny window somewhere was just like, it was just not gonna look good. So we just did one big window. But otherwise it wasn't difficult to like, you know, do the window process.
No, I mean, they had special modification. Like they had to cut some of the metal beams out and put reinforcement in to put windows in and stuff like that. But in general, it's not. I mean, you can put windows wherever you want. You can put doors wherever you want. It just may take a little special modification on some of this stuff. I will say the only thing that I miss about a real home would be like the ability to have like a pool or something like that. Could we have figured out a way to have a pool here? Probably, honestly, if I'd have thought about it. But we still have a fenced in yard. Miley can still run around. We still have like a porch area. Like I have my grill outside. We'll have an awning that's getting installed later on. So like there's a lot of normal things that you can partake in by having your building above the business. The only thing, like I said, that I'm missing out on is like a pool or something like that, which I really could have probably figured out a way to do it if I really wanted to. I could have put a pool somewhere, I'm sure, but maybe later. I feel safe, but like, do you feel safe up here?
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of our visitors come and they're like, yeah, I don't know how anybody would even think that they were gonna like get in here or whatever. So yeah, yes, people know where we live, but like they could have found out where we lived before really easily.
Yeah.
So
yeah, people don't realize that like you can go to the property appraiser's website for the county that whoever the person you are looking for lives in, and you literally can search their name and it tells you what house they own. I mean, that's literally, I mean, I found addresses that way to send people cookies. No shame in my game, okay? No shame. But I'm just saying there's very famous people that you can find out like where they live just based on those things. So, you know, when we bring people, our friends up here, and you have to walk through what, like essentially 3 locked doors to get to the elevator, you know, and then the staircase in the back is, you know, it's got a gate, and then our front door is literally like thick metal. Obviously water can get through it, but people can't. But anyways, I don't know. I'm just not really concerned with the safety aspect of it. And there's people constantly here between the people working downstairs and, you know, Austin and Gabby and Wade living next door, and, you know, businesses all around us and other homes like right behind us. Like, I'm not really concerned with it. So, all right. So, comment down below any other questions that you want us to touch on when we start doing the room by room tour and everything. If you have other questions about the exterior of the home or our decision about living above the building, why we chose exterior stuff, you know, let me know. Comment down below. Share this video with someone that's thinking about building in a metal building, a house in a metal building. Subscribe if you haven't. Like this video.
next up is Letty's room.
You're worth it.